What's up?
Hey, everybody, look. It's Haji, my co-star from Tex Johnson.
My name is Cade.
Sure it is.
Adam King gets $75 per signature.
Howdy bear.
Right. Green is for the money, gold is for the honey.
Gil is the Tony Montana of supercars. We dress up, we steal the stash, and we walk out like nothing ever happened.
You guys know this is a dumb idea, right?
Oh, yeah, we do.
I'm in.
Sid, what do you think? You in?
The Adam Kings of the world? They're robbing from us. We want to take it back for the fans.
This kid just monologued me.
Let's rob Supercar.
We have to get that money before it gets backstage and in the King's hands.
Are you wearing heels?
Well, more of a go-go boot, but yes.
I can't believe that you got robbed!
Jesus! Making out with David Lee Roth. Go!
My prediction for you, unpleasantness.
What the?
Thank you for coming to StarNet Studios. I appreciate your time. It's very valuable to all of us here. And today I'm speaking with Miss Susan Gorrell. She is a producer and she's done some great work as well as running a film festival. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that. How's it going there, Susan?
Going great. Thank you for having me here.
Excellent. So we're certainly, as I said, going to get to speaking about your production work shortly here. But I know you've had a very busy 2021 so far. And just tell us a little bit about the festival that you have wrapped up, because I understand is going to be some time before the one next year. But how did it go?
Sure, it went great. It's the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival. Plug in my website, julianfilmfest.com. It is annual. We had our 10th annual this year, and it was a little different. Normally, we're a 5-day festival, the last full weekend of April, but due to COVID in 2020, we did not have a festival. So this year, I expanded it to 8 days, and we played the 2020 and 2021 films. So it was a lot more scheduling, a lot more films. And, I'll be honest, I told our board that I'll be happy if just 50 people come. I mean, I just wanted to have it in person. We did not do virtual. It was all in person. And we were great. We had about 200 filmmakers attend, which was awesome. And then we probably had normally we'd get over 6,000 attendees, but this year we probably had about over 4,000. Still very good for a COVID, year and just coming out of a COVID pandemic. So I was really, really happy with everything.
Okay. Is it the same location like next year and previous years? Is it all going to be the same location?
Yep. It's always in Dubuque, Iowa. People think Iowa flat and cornfields, but in Dubuque, it's actually quite hilly, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful city. It's right on the Mississippi River, so people should check it out. So it's a perfect location for this film festival.
Okay, and what are the origins of the festival? How did they get started, and whom were you looking to service, like by the types of films, and what can people look for in this festival as far as genres and things like that?
That's a great question. It actually started from two co-founders 10 years ago. They knew Dubuque had a lot of beauty to it, and they wanted to create something, a festival, originally, I think more of a local film festival. And it went really well. And I actually came here as a filmmaker with a documentary I did called A Million Spokes. It's about RAGBRAI, a famous bike ride across the state of Iowa. And when I came, I thought, gosh, Dubuque is beautiful, because I'm not from here. And I said, I'll volunteer my time, and I think I can kind of help you all grow because my husband and my boys are all in the film industry. They do big films and been in it for years. So I thought I have a lot of connections. I wanted to build a festival that was international, obviously, but it created two things. One, great films, great quality projects that people travel from all over the world to come see, and also a networking business model for filmmakers. Filmmakers, what do they want to do? They want to meet other filmmakers and they want to sell their film. So I wanted to create a great networking spot in the Midwest that they were treated right. I mean, it doesn't matter the size of your budget. You all worked very hard on a film, and I just wanted ours to be the place that recognized your great work. And so I volunteered the first year, the second year actually, and then the third year, one of the co-founders left, and I got a part-time job, and then the other co-founder left, and here I am. This is my 7th year now, executive director, and have built. They originally had maybe 200 to 300 people attend with maybe 20 to 50 submissions. We've grown to over 800 submissions and thousands of attendees. So we're definitely fulfilling what I wanted. We do all genres. It doesn't matter. It's based on quality of film. And we have a major scoring system that narrows down to the 130 that would normally play. But it really is, we cater to the filmmaker big time. You've got breakfast, lunch, and dinners. Wherever you need to go. We have major events and parties and mingles and networking opportunities, panels, workshops. For a small Midwest town, we really create an impact on filmmakers, and it feels like this big, massive event. And it is, but it is all walking distance. So you're always running into people. It's not too far spread out where you can't see each other. That all adds to it. So it's really it's really done what it's supposed to do, and people just keep coming. So I'm really happy with it.
Good. And you mentioned earlier that you're not from there. So before you got involved with this festival in Iowa, where was home for you before that?
Actually, it's kind of we lived in Florida for many years. That's where my husband got started in the film industry, and then we lived in Southeast Iowa, which is like 3 hours south of Dubuque. That's where my family, my parents are at. And so I had started, once our kids grew and went on, I kind of started getting more into the producing. My parents are in the music industry. They do Christian recording and distribution company. And so I've always worked with them. So I know the music end, but I've always loved film. And when my husband get more film, I just got more into that, kind of acquiring projects, stories, inspirational stories I really liked. I started kind of slowly purchasing scripts and building that. Hence how I got the documentary. And then that's kind of where the film festival just kind of landed in my lap. It really wasn't anything I had planned that I'd be running a film festival. So it just kind of rolled right into my life, and it's been great. So I still do both now.
All right. Now, when it comes to your own film, and how I would imagine with it being based on a convention, a gathering of a lots of different people with common interest in, because it's another form of entertainment, just superhero-based TV shows, comic books, or things like that. How much of that do you feel like you brought to SuperCon, and what do you want to tell people about that particular film?
Sure. I think that SuperCon, I met a wonderful person at Dubuque that actually wanted to invest in film. So that kind of helped bring that. And she knew that I've been getting into producing. She knew that I was very good at what I did with the festival. And so she kind of invested in me per se and had this idea. She loves Comic Cons. And the director, Zach Knutson, who's worked a lot with Kevin Smith in the past, he had written this great story, and we just loved it. Thought it was funny. I mean, we both like to laugh. It is that, you have to like Comic Cons and know the goofiness of it to appreciate SuperCon. It's not award winning. It's not winning an Oscar. It's just goofy kind of 80s, that funny, cheesy Comic Con. And, that's a lot of those Comic Cons are like that. They're small. The smaller ones are cheesier. And that's that's what this was to represent. So producing and being eDiva Festival are kind of the same thing, because you have to roll with all these moving parts and bring it all together and troubleshoot. And I, that's what I like to do. So it did all come together for the shooting.
Now, speaking of the moving parts, I know one major moving part of any film is when you do the casting, and you have some really great performers in here. You have Ryan Quanten, who I believe is from True Blood, and then you have Russell Peters, and I've seen his stand-up comedy. A lot of comedy that I enjoy that I can relate to, so it's good. And like Mike Epps, I mean, anyone who knows his work knows he's a very funny man. And Clancy Brown, John Malkovich. I mean, those are some really classic actors. And then Maggie Grace, who everyone knows from the Taken films and some other things. So how did you, and I know obviously you have a casting director and things like that, but what was the process of getting all of those great talents together for this particular piece?
Well, like the director had some very specific people that he liked to work with as well. So he really did more of the interviews with some of these people. And yes, the casting director would reach out. I mean, when you start doing a film like that, you're kind of looking for names that might help that film to sell or give it credibility. John Malkovich was by luck. I mean, who would have thought he would do such a goofy supercon? But apparently one of his best friends is big into Comic-Con, and he loved the script, and he told John, "Oh, you got to do this. You just got to do it for fun." And John we filmed in New Orleans, and he lived at that time in New Orleans. He had built a bed and breakfast, I believe. And so it was perfect for him, wanted to be home with his wife or his family. And shouldn't say wife, I'm pretty sure it was, but his family. And he wanted to be close by. So it was perfect filming, scenario for him. Clancy Brown knew the director, and Clancy just loved it. And I got to tell you, I thought Clancy nailed his part. Out of all of I love Clancy Brown in this. Yeah. And Mike Epps, again, you always go through the agent process, and if they like the script, then they kind of jump on board. And originally, we were looking at Clancy Brown for the part that Mike Epps played. But as it is where Clancy went, but Mike is a comedic genius. I got to be honest. I actually really love Mike Epps. I think he's hysterical. I just don't think he gets enough credit for how funny he really is. And I just love his timing. Russell Peters was the first time I actually had known Russell Peters. I kind of paid more attention to him now in his comic stand-up. Very funny. And Maggie wanted the part. She loved it. She auditioned for it, and it kind of fit her. She kind of felt her character. Maggie's a little more vibrant in other things she does, but her character, she felt should be kind of deadpan. She felt was that very artistic, so she came across differently than I would have thought, but I ended up really liking how she did it. And then Ryan was great. He loved the part too and was really excited about it. And he's another great actor. So we did have a nice ensemble that came together, and really lucky. They did a lot of improv. This director believed in a lot of improving. So, you never know what's going to come out of some of these comedians' mouth, as in Russell Peters when you're doing that. But they were awesome.
And Russell Peters, for one, was certainly a good sport with some of the things that came his way. I won't spoil it, but some of the things that were said and some of the things that came in his direction. Yeah, he's definitely a great sport. So, now I saw this. I know it's on IMDb TV. Is there anywhere else that someone would be able to take a look at it?
I believe it's still on Vudu or Amazon Prime. It's on there, so you can definitely see it in those places. Not sure if it's on Hulu. It might be. I kind of lost track of where it's all, but I know for sure Amazon Prime and Vudu was on.
Okay, excellent. So now you have another work that's coming up that you're promoting. It's going to be The Reunion. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The Reunion is based on a true story. The lead actor, who's also the writer and the executive producer of the film, it's based on his high school bullying, how he was bullied and how it affected him later in life and how he has to come to terms with it. A lot of the actors, I mean, you don't see they're not really big named actors other than Austin Pendleton, who was in like My Cousin Vinny. So he's in there. But these actors that came forward did an amazing job. They really, really bring the story to life. And it's obviously not comedy, so it's completely opposite of SuperCon. And I was hired as a producer for it and have worked very closely with Dave Rosenberg, who is the lead actor and writer. And, you know, I think it also helped him come to terms with what happened to him in high school. He and the other gentleman who plays the cop in it, Andrea Modica is his name, great actor. He and David and Din Doan, that's also one of the actors in the film, they were all very good friends for 10 years. They know the kind of things that Dave went through, and then to play the part of Ricky in the film. So, you know, they've collaboratively come together and wrote to bring this film to life. And it was really important to Dave to tell his story. It may be not the way anybody else was thinking, but it was his story, and he wanted it to be true as much as possible to, you know, how he felt at that time or things that happened to him and how he came out of it. With that, he has a website, reunionfilms.com, also has a bully blog. So Facebook, asking people to write in your stories you ever been bullied, you know, how it affected you later on. You know, Dave's very big about, you know, wanting to help people through that process. But it's a great film. It's playing in the New York City Independent Film Festival, June 9th and 12th. And then we have submitted to a lot of festivals. So we're just starting that process now. And then hopefully you'll get some distribution.
Okay. So we know where to keep an eye out for that. Now, one more time with your own film festival, what was that website again?
It's JulienFilmFest.com, and that's JULIEN filmfest.com.
Okay, well, good, and that will be April of 2022. Correct. is when that happens.
It's April 20th to the 24th, 2022.
Okay, excellent. So people can take a look at that and find out more about that through the website, as well as now they know where to look for the other films we've been discussing. So I want to tell you, Susan, thank you for coming. I appreciate your time. It's been great having you, and good luck with what you're working on with the festival as well as the reunion.
Great, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate that.